There's one thing in life that will always be constant, and that is change. You may be watching this right now and notice that things around us, wow, it's definitely changed. But what do you do? How do you transition? If you are in a transition like this right now, whether you're like just graduating from school and you're looking at a school to work transition, or maybe you're actually on a work to work transition, like, changing jobs or like a career, or maybe you're transitioning from a business into another business. Well, this episode is for you. We're going to be talking to Bianca Jacinto to talk about her journey of being a student, an artist, a performer, an employee, and now a content creator. Wow, that's a mouthful. But let's learn about how she was able to converge all of what I said, all these rules, into who she is now online. Guys, let's welcome Bianca.
Good afternoon. Hello po. Yes.
Hello. Nako, papopo. Wag naman. But Bianca, there was a time that I used to see you on a bus, right? And
Yeah.
I think you were going to work then. So I
Right.
never really asked you why you were on the bus for, but I assume that you were going to work. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, the very first job I had was a corporate job. It was 2 years ago. And since, well, this is the South, when the P2P came along, when that thing became like like a premium bus mode of public transportation for Santa Rosa, everybody's like, wow, it's a new frontier. I don't have to bring my car. I don't have to deal with
True.
traffic.
True.
And then, and I was like, oh, wow, it's a convenient way to go to my corporate job. So the very first job I had was actually in sales. So this whole thing that's what's happening right now is like it's like far off from what I used to do. I used to work in Makati.
And what were you doing
Yeah.
then?
Yeah. I used to work in sales for a staff augmentation firm.
Hmm.
So this is related to the IT industry, in which I would pitch the company services to supply, well, let's say, human resources in the IT sector. So yeah.
But Bianca, that was just like one aspect of how I know you. I mean, I I have to admit, right, that whenever I see Bianca, I see her like in different settings. There's Bianca that I saw on the bus, right, going to the office, right. But there's also Bianca that's I've seen some of your shows. When you were still a student, I guess in Benilde, right?
I was in DLSU Manila, rather.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Whoops. So you were still in school at the time, DLSU Manila, sa Taft,
Yes.
sa Maine.
Opo.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a big difference, I guess. I mean, it matters, right? But what were you taking up?
I was taking up AB psychology. Yeah.
And why AB psychology?
AB psychology, I've always been interested in the human mind and how people reason things, like how people understand the world, the cognition of the world. So I wanted to be able to explain that.
But
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
basic paradigm of people going to college and taking up courses was because of this. I wouldn't say understated, but there's a bit of a paradigm that you're going to school because you wanted to get a job.
Yeah, like the system would be like, yeah, you got to have a college degree in order to get a job. But deeply rooted there was my interest in humans. And I really wanted to understand them on like I don't know. I just had a connection to
Hmm.
psychology somehow. Yeah. And also the influence from my mom. She also took up psychology. And so there it is. Yeah.
But being studying psychology, right? While studying psychology, you were also a performer.
Right. So that's the academic side, the psychology side. But on the extracurricular side, I was in an organization called De La Salle Inner Soul. So that was the organization that produced the shows that you went to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was very passionate about performing ever
And tell us
since.
about
Yeah.
that. Tell us more about that. Like, which shows did you do?
Oh, every year we would have three minor productions and one major production. So let's focus on that one. Every year, our late director, would come up with a theme 6 months before, and he would be like, "Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. You guys are gonna be performers. I'm gonna cast you. This is gonna be great." So, in that organization, I was able to learn how to perform. as a singer. Singing, by the way, is something I only learned in college. And then, uh, and also, I also learned how to manage arts management, run a production, sales, marketing, and all of that. So everything about the arts industry, apart from learning psychology, I was also able to learn in that org. Yeah.
Wow, that's that's great. And so, doing all of these things, and how long were you in the corporate world?
How long was I in the corporate world? Oh, less than 2 years. It was one job, and then after that, I just knew it wasn't the right setting for me. Yeah.
Why?
There was this. Perhaps it's not the environment I grew up in. It's not where I felt my flow. There's this
Uh huh.
concept in positive psychology called flow. It's that state you're in where you know where you're at your most optimum self.
Yes.
Like nothing can stop you, and you're like on 100. I don't know. There's no formal way to say it. It feels different. It feels like you're in the zone
Yes.
basically.
There you go.
And
That's what I was going to say.
I did not feel that from the corporate setting, even like prior to that or any kind of internships. Something held me back. Something prevented me from giving my all in that setting. So I, yeah,
Well,
so
what do
less
you
than
think
two
that
years.
is? What was really waiting to be unleashed?
I think I was just suppressing my feelings. All throughout, even in college, I had this love for performing. Even before college, I was in the cheer squad. I was also performing outside of cheer, and during summer school, during the summer days, like what do you call that? Summer break in school, I would
Hmm.
be in performing classes. Ever since like everything, maybe like when I was born, I just hit the ground running. I just started performing, and everything that's not that made me so uncomfortable. I just needed to perform somehow. So I really took the risk,
Uh
and
huh.
I left. I thrive in the entertainment industry.